Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
Let's start now, shall we? I'm ready.
Sure. Have you been out of town? Where have you been?
I've been to Seattle.
Right. What night? Just the weekend?
The weekend I did that. I think we recorded the last episode when I got home from Seattle to do that Upper Left Comedy Festival.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, super fun, really fun. Have been didn't do stand up all week until
Really? You've been
last
home
night.
you've been home all week?
No, I had to go up to my mother-in-law's and
Okay.
wander the earth. I had to wander the earth. And
Yeah.
so I've been cleaning and organizing and creating space.
Oh man. Jackie, I feel it.
We're
I
moving
feel
her
it.
in a week from Monday. Week from Monday.
I feel like I understand all the space between the words that you're saying right now.
Oh yeah. It's
All
there's
the
definitely
subtext.
sure. I've never lived with a cat. That's not true. We had a cat. It's when I found out that I was allergic to cats.
Okay. So
So
a cat's moving in as well and you're allergic to cats?
yeah, but I think the cat has never really bothered me that much. So it might be
Okay.
one of those rare things where it's a cat that doesn't bother me. My hair is very poofy. All right.
Sure.
But I've decided I did stand up last night and I remembered as I was saying to I was saying to Chris, my mother-in-law today, um, I like stand up. I need to do it more often. And because
Mhm.
it's gonna keep me, it's gonna help. So I texted a couple of clubs to see if I could pick up some sets tonight. It's Saturday, 2 days before this comes out,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping to get up.
I am at I've had a lot of sets in LA tonight. I mean this
Oh
week.
yeah?
Like
Oh yeah? Did you pick up
almost
the
every
ones that I
single
had to
one.
cancel?
Yes, but that was last week, I think, right?
I don't know when it
I
was.
don't know, but it's been lots of sets. Last night I was at Comedy and Magic for the 8 p.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's back.
Fraser Smith opened it, you know.
Was
Uh,
it full? Was it half full?
it
How
was
full?
pretty full. It was pretty full. And it was just Charlie Viracola was there. I haven't seen him in like 10 years.
What?
Got long braids.
Oh my, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?
He's
It's
got his Charlie vibe, you know. Yeah, it was cool. A lot of people I hadn't seen in a while, and you know, a lot of the staff and stuff like that, and yeah, it was fun. Like I think I got the check spot. I did see checks going down, and I was in the middle of a high concept bit. I was like, oh no. But yeah, it was fun. And then I did a show at the Lab called Funny Foreigners, and I filled in for an actual foreigner, Kira Sultanovich, who you guys may not know is not from our country, and so you know, that was fun too. But yeah, mostly, except for like there was some show I did where I kind of had to be like normal, I guess. But I was trying some just funky side material, I guess I felt like this week. That was mostly fun to do.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. I did this weird resort at Waldorf Astoria down in Dana Point last night, which by the way, Dana Point from Van Nuys, 2.5 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it paid well.
Right.
And I was only doing 20 minutes, but I couldn't stay for the headliner because I had to drive 2.5 hours.
Of course.
Actually, coming back, it was a little over an hour and a half. So just
Still.
going down was bad, but I couldn't stay. And he was nice enough to me, the closer guy. He said that we had met a couple of times, and I was like, you would think I'd remember your name, but he was like, oh yeah, I used to be a personal trainer. I'm a comic now. And I'm like, okay. And he was perfect. They were enjoying him. Though what did he had some weird bit about how Fosse lied. We needed masks, and then
Fauci?
yeah, Fauci, whatever his name is.
Bob
Yeah.
Fosse also probably a
Bob
liar.
Fosse also lied about masks and about wearing masks and that happy little tree.
He was a ladies' man, so he did lie. Fosse did lie, but Fauci, different guy.
I like the fact that I know who Bob Fosse is and don't remember Dr. Fauci's first name.
Anthony.
What is it?
Anthony
Anthony?
Fauci. Anthony.
Oh, well, you would know.
Why would I
still
know?
because you're still on top of it. You're on top of it.
Oh.
And But yeah, so I was standing next to this woman at the door, and he was saying, Fauci said that we should wear a mask and that we shouldn't wear a mask. And I looked at her, I was like, yeah, that's how science works. And then I mimed shooting myself in the face. And I got a laugh. And then I was like, I'm going to leave. So
the same gesture, by the way, is what got 3 cops sent to my house to investigate myself. So,
exactly. But he
unfair.
was fine. He was fine. It's at this
yeah, I have in New York and LA, I feel like I'm the only comic when there's a bunch of us that's wearing a mask. Maybe one other person had one on yesterday, but he kept pulling it off to talk. I'm like, whatever. At least you're trying,
Right. Yeah, I've become a hobbyist. The only thing that I'm definitely going to be the only thing I'm definitely wearing a mask at is in the airport and on the planes.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm on a petri dish and I don't want you cold either. So
right.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like for the next couple weeks, you could be a little stricter. It's really contagious right now, Jackie.
Right, but here's the thing, is every week you're like, for the next this has been 2 years, for the next couple of weeks, you might want to be a little more strict.
Well, no, yeah, and then in the summertime,
except for those 2 weeks that were in between Omicron.
Well,
so
that's true, but also, I mean, it's it's your old age we're thinking about here.
Right, yeah. Now
one case of COVID, and you don't want multiples because you don't know how it's going to wear down on various body parts.
Yep. Yeah, you don't. I don't know Jack.
And we got to do our grandma tour when we hit 80. And if you're not around, how am I going to do it? I'm not going to do it by myself.
True. Well, we have had an option for people to sub out for us when we can't do shows. I was thinking it'd be kind of fun to do it for Patreon, where we do one where Laura House plays me.
Okay.
And then Laura House plays you.
Oh, so she would do 2 of them.
Yeah. Or we can get Maria if Maria's willing to play me or you on one, and Laura House to play me or you on the other one.
Why don't we take submissions from comedians of our generation, female? All you have to do is be as female and our gen, and we'll take submissions and we'll create a
You just created a job for yourself. I say you do it. You're now in charge of that. I was just gonna book Laura House.
Oh, I meant Kyle. Send it to Kyle, and he
a lot of emails.
Yeah, so, but anyway, I did, so last night, so the MC did she was like, I'm just testing the waters. And so she did a weird, just a weird throwaway mean line about Biden and Pelosi being old,
right,
as opposed to everybody else. And so a third of the audience cheered, because I was down in Orange County, right? And everybody drives Alfa Romeos, and so it was the fanciest. Supposedly, I was supposed to get a hotel room, but I told her I didn't need it, so she gave it away to someone else, which is fine because I had the dog and Andy's up at whatever. But it did look like a very nice hotel, and so she went up, and then a duo went up that I've met at Flappers, whose names I forget everybody's names. Mm-hmm. So all of the people that were on, they were very silly and a little, they had some adult content, but it was mostly PG-13. Mm-hmm. And then I got up and I did 20 and did very well. Thank you very much in front of the people. Mm-hmm. And I worked on a couple of my new jokes. I have a new joke about Gordy that I'm pretty psyched about. I'm psyched. I have a couple of jokes that are just about things. They're not about...
Isn't that such a relief?
Oh my God, I can't keep...
There's no burden of I gotta say
trying
this
to
exactly
encourage
right.
civilization, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not trying to move civilization forward.
Yes.
I'm just trying to talk about my fucking dog.
Right.
And that was fun. And then I drove home. But so I'm hoping, I'm gonna try to, I'm really hoping to strong arm my way on to some shows tonight, because I don't have any work for 2 weeks.
Oh, listen, I know your personality when you haven't been on stage, and I will make some calls for you.
Please do. You are correct. I am a grump and it isn't right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I too have an age-based chunk, but it's about Dianne Feinstein, and it's about how she isn't up to what we need. It's not. I mean, she literally has dementia. So,
Oh,
she does. Yes.
diagnosed and in the public eye?
It's highly rumored. Everyone's denying it. She's 88, Jackie. She might be in it. I'm telling you, you look at Kamala Harris, when she was our senator at the Kavanaugh hearings versus Dianne Feinstein, who's still in hiding. You know, I don't want to go into my bit, but you know, yeah. So yeah, I am going after Di-Fi. She should step down. I feel like it's elder abuse. It's like the people that were putting Bruce Willis in movies. Like, let him retire. Let Dianne Feinstein fucking retire. Her husband died. So she's just an elderly woman who's in grief right now and in dementia. Stop pushing her to be a senator and let fucking Gavin Newsom appoint somebody, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going after her because of her age. Yeah, come get me.
Yeah, come get you. You have an ageist joke for no reason. But it's also
there's a reason. There's a reason. Okay.
There's a reason.
Yes.
Right. No, here's what I want. A punchline. That's all I want.
There's a punchline. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, if you, I mean, yeah, I know you have a reason, but I also know that you have a punchline.
Yeah.
It isn't just some random, just kind
it's
of.
It's really mean. It's a good mean one. like.
Well, all right then. Other than that, I have been cleaning so much of my, just sort of boxing things up, and I found a DVD with my first Last Comic Standing audition.
Oh.
And performance, which got lost in the MySpace sweep. And when MySpace lost all of their, in other words, they were like, we're sick of storing your shit from 2004.
Right.
So they went down, and I was just watching. I was kind of trying to scrub ahead to find my part because it's the whole show. And there's Bill Dwyer doing a joke that, quite honestly, I've heard other people do it, but I remember him doing sort of the definitive version of it. So it's 2006. Bill Dwyer, always a delight for me. And he had this joke about how much he doesn't, that morning radio is a chore, right? It's just a morning radio joke. And it's the bit about how there's always two men with nicknames and one woman without. And then his nicknames are like Apple Speed, Walrus something, and Helen. And I was like, I love that joke. And I've never heard it done better, quite honestly. That was my favorite version of it. Yeah.
Well, the comedy today has been fascinating. The last 20 hours. So I got home from the Improv. I log on to Twitter, surprisingly, Jackie.
Shocking no one. You log on to Twitter, when was this, last night?
Yeah. Well, John Mulaney is trending, and I'm like, oh, why is he trending? Click. So
why was he trending?
Chappelle opened for him.
What?
And, you aren't on top of this stuff?
Who books that?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I don't, here's the thing, like,
that show doesn't even work.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
It's a strange one, It's just so funny, interesting to see all the reactions, right? So it first kind of spread on Twitter because people were talking about, going to see John Mulaney, very excited to see John Mulaney, and then, Chappelle shows up and does some trans jokes.
And these are having to sit through his temper tantrum. Yeah.
Yes. So there's some of that, and then the response to that, of course, is like, haha, it's just jokes. And then it's like a traditional thing, it's like Christmas or something. You see all the things fall into place. It's interesting to watch, but and I had initially thought, well, because Mulaney was in Columbus, Ohio, that's near where Chappelle lives. I thought, well, maybe Chappelle just popped in, and comics almost never say no to a pop-in, especially if they're a celebrity. You're like, sure, I
Right.
mean, it just makes people happier they came to my show for the
Yeah.
most part.
Right.
You know? But it is but then
Was
someone
it in Columbus?
it was in Columbus, but then someone else on Twitter said that that Chappelle had opened for him in Colorado. So maybe that's what he's just doing, which is again, I don't.
What? It's a weird way for John Mulaney to throw away some of his audience.
Yes,
It
that's
was
true.
like,
I
yeah,
mean, it's interesting because I like you look at Regan, who
Yeah.
has you open for him, has some other people open for him. You guys know you need to be clean, right? You're not
Yeah.
going to do some material because you're like, this is Ryan Regan's audience, and
Yeah.
I'm a guest on his show,
yeah.
right? So you will censor yourself a little bit,
I
right?
yeah. What I'm trying to do, and this is on every show,
Mm-hmm.
is try to make the show the best possible show. And if
Right.
it's my show, more and more lately, I wonder who's going to open for me.
Sure.
And I want those people to be interesting or smart.
Right.
Funny, but at the very least interesting, if not smart.
And not too crowd work.
And not, well, yeah, and you don't want them to do crowd work, right? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then I think like when someone goes to Ryan Regan, they're paying a lot of money. Gaffigan's the same way. Gaffigan has really clean comics open for him, or he has comics that can work clean, that can also work dirty, right? But
Right.
when you're opening for Gaffigan, you're gonna be clean, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's paying you well to do it and all that, whatever. But
All the
it's
things.
it's so I don't know. It's so weird that Mulaney wouldn't have that same sort of interest in his show. But can you, when like the world's most famous comic wants to do a drop-in? It is kind of like a weird position to be in, I don't know.
If he was in Colorado, that's not a drop-in. That's a flying and destination.
I don't know. Maybe
drop-in.
but if you're Chappelle and you have a private jet, you can kind of drop in anywhere, right?
I suppose, but it's like there has to be a place you can get up locally. You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I've decided I want to open for Tiffany Haddish. She's in Perth.
Yeah,
I'll be there a day and a half early.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's weird. Should I call my best friend Olivia Munn and ask her?
Like, if you just go to a regular club that's going to have 15 comics on, you're going to hear stuff that sucks, right? And you're going to hear stuff that's great.
It's going to be a mix. It's going to be a
Exactly.
mix. You can't call it.
I do think when you're paying like big money to see Mulaney, you're assuming that the whole show is curated for him.
For what
know,
you
it's-
like
it's-
about him. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think I can understand. Like, I can understand people when I paid this amount of money and then I saw this stuff, which is, kind of antithetical to what I thought I was signing up for. I guess
The weirdest thing about how mad he seems to be reacting to this blowback about it
Chappelle.
is that it feels like an early male comic response. It doesn't feel like a guy who's been doing it 30, 40 years, right? This feels like, I'm going to blow that fucker away. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to walk all of these people. And then, and the thing is we've all been there, but it's usually one show. You don't turn your career into it. Usually you stop being mad after a point. And it's so weird to me. Maybe he has dementia. Is he 88? How old is he?
No. It is weird. I don't understand things that
I just want to do stand-up.
Doing what?
Yeah, I just want to do stand-up.
I know. And ultimately, I just want my new shit to work and not with my old shit before I put it on an album.
Oh my God.
That barely makes any money, by the way. Did you get any sound exchange money for your?
It's down again every month.
But have you gotten it for the new album for Staycation?
I haven't. I couldn't. I didn't click on it. I just looked at my bank account, and it was so low, and I've been hemorrhaging so much money,
right?
That I am It's a little hard, and I also don't have any work. I just asked Portland if I could come at the Siren, and if I make a grant, I'll It'll be a grand I don't have. So that's the good news. But it will not be a lot of money.
Why don't we do like a Tuesday? We might make more money together on an off night. If they don't have a weekend up soon, you know what I mean?
They do. September 16, 17. Do you want to do it?
No, I don't want to horn in on your weekend. I'm saying when you and I do stuff together, we should do it on off nights so it's not going to interfere if either of us gets a week and we have to cancel like we did with that Planet of the Tapes or something.
Yeah, you should totally book that and then tell me about it. And then I'll totally come and do that.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I'm willing to try to do that, but I just yeah.
Mhm.
It's I just have to have a little faith. There will be work. There will be
Yeah.
work. It'll be fine.
And then the other thing, this is a new story. I'm completely obsessed with it. Were you on the chat when I sent that link out?
Maybe. What I'm on several threads, including one to sell my mother-in-law's house.
Oh boy. So there's a comic in New York, a white male comic, and he met with a management company, and I guess somebody in the management company told him, and he recorded the conversation, that they weren't going to take him on because he's a white guy. And so now he's suing them, and he's saying that they offered to settle, but he's going to take it all the way to the top, which
He's suing them because they didn't book him because he was a white guy?
because it
literally-
it wasn't even booking. It was a management company. He didn't want to help him get work. Yeah.
Wow.
You aren't an employee of a management company. They actually you employ them, actually, even though you have to get them to take you on as a client.
Right. There is a mutual agreement there, but you
Right.
are essentially, you've hired them to do their job for you.
Yes.
And if they don't want to do their job for you, you can't hire them, and they don't have to take your work.
Correct.
Right? They don't have to, if you're like, no, I'm hiring you to clean my house. I don't want to clean your house.
Exactly.
I've hired you to clean my house.
Yeah.
Be here on Monday. I don't want to I'm suing you because you don't want to clean my house.
Exactly.
That's
I mean,
insanity.
It is insanity. I kind of like, I think he's an alt-right comic, right? He's an anti-vaxxer. This is really a smart money-making move on his part because he's already outside of the regular comedy business, right?
Okay. What does that mean?
When you're going sort of alt-right, anti-vax, you're stepping aside. You're not trying to get on Colbert, okay?
So he's not even trying to get on Jimmy Fallon.
Right. No. I'm saying.
Is he only? I don't know his name, and I don't think that you said it. Did you say it?
No, I didn't, and we don't.
That's
have
fine. We don't have to. But is he on like that right wing?
Yes. That side
panel.
No,
that panel show, and they have their
Skanks?
own channel.
I don't think so. He's not one of the three skanks.
No. Remember that panel show with an ex-politician? I don't have any names, but somebody has a panel show that's sort of like Letterman, and they have comics on, and you posted a link to that.
Oh, Mike Huckabee?
Yeah, it was Huckabee. Yeah, I did. I couldn't
No,
remember.
it's not Huckabee. No.
It wasn't Mike Huckabee?
No,
Who has that show, or?
No,
Okay.
It wasn't. Okay. So this guy is, again, I don't know him. He's a New York guy. He's got a podcast. It's all like, it seems like it's following that model of, I'll get a lot of I'll have a lot of exposure with my Patreon, etc. And you can have your own career and make good money. A lot of comedians are making great money off of their Patreons and the community they're creating. Okay. I mean, we've talked about, I don't even want to get into it. We've talked about this before. You know what I'm talking about. So,
Yeah.
So it's a model. And when you do that, you're kind of stepping away from, I'm going to work on my 6-minute set for, a late night thing. And then I'm going to try to get this thing and that thing. That's jumping through established hoops. And so, there are people making, I think, very cynical dollars, but they don't seem to give a shit by, on the left and the right, the extreme left and the right? Like we've talked about all these guys before. So I think he might be in that sort of model. And if that's the case, it's actually really smart for him to do because he's getting his name out there. He's probably going to get some money from some right-wing groups that want to see if we can get this case in front of the Supreme Court, which is currently a 6-3 conservative court, and see if we can get people to, get rid of, anti-discrimination laws because they discriminate against white men. You know what I'm saying?
Why isn't this your novel? I don't understand, because the thing is you're future tripping. So, like, this is such speculative fiction about what's going to happen. Like, I don't know his name. I've never heard of him. I mean, granted, there's 8 billion people on this planet. And if you want to be a complete and utter dirtbag, you can. And we know, yes, as you've said, we know people who are doing that, right? Mm-hmm. And it isn't this guy, is it?
No.
Who's suing? No, he's not the one who's suing?
No.
Okay.
No, it's somebody I don't know and I haven't heard of. So my impression of what I've just read the New York Post article and stuff, and he's saying, I'm not going to settle. I want to take this all the way as high as I can. Right.
But it was in so it was in the New York Post. You were in New York, so you read no, it's not.
No, it's the New York Post is on the internet, Jackie. Why are you acting like I had to stop by a bodega and I can open a paper and read this story? I don't know where you're from right now.
Obviously the 1930s. So so what I'm saying is I'm going to jump on a plane, a train, and become a hobo. But but I don't think. I mean, I think that you're right. It is a model that some dudes are following.
Yeah, and it's great publicity for that. That sort publicity.
Or it is you say that it is a way to get in with some of these like money bag dirtbags, right. So the publicity because I've never heard of it. Like I've never heard.
Yeah, but you have now. Once you read, yeah.
Right. Once I read the article, I will have heard. And so you're amplifying that and trying to get him work, which I think is a lot. But no,
I'm not trying to get him work. I'm not saying his name. I'm saying what I'm saying is that what he's doing is very cynical, right? He knows that's not why he wasn't selected by a management company.
Do you think he does though? I mean, I wonder about the difference. So if you think it's willful ignorance,
100%.
I think the person.
You don't think he's just a moron?
No.
And he might be being puppeteered by
This is a whole career move for a type of young comedian now. Like, this is a fully established lane.
Excuse me, Kyle, I just said that. She didn't believe me, but she goes to the white man who verifies it, and all of a sudden it's real. Interesting.
The system is broken.
I'm saying you guys are ganging up on me, and that's fine. You're both saying the same thing, so clearly it must be true. But I'm just, and all you're saying is it just sounds like you admire, there's part of you that admires it. And
no, dude, I admire
the path.
True. I admire even though I admire
yeah.
Wait, let me finish the fucking sentence. I admire the right-wing comedy that the comedians that have figured out I don't need to fit into the system. The system isn't for me. Or I, and so I'm going to create my own money, my own career. I'm going to have my own fans come out to see me, even though I've never done a special. Now, I would never want to do it like that, but they did figure something out, right?
Well, and
comics making so much fucking money that aren't really super, super famous because they've created a Patreon community.
Right. So what we mostly talked about, though, is people who are either not political at all and left-wing weirdos who have done that. But you're saying that there are also right-wing weirdos that are doing that.
Dude, you know who I'm talking about?
Right, that's a right-wing weirdo.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Most of them are right-wing. The one guy is left-wing.
Right, and he's not left-wing because he's right-wing. You just told me that he became a Trump supporter, and you showed me some clip of his.
Well, I don't know that he would identify himself as right-wing, but whatever.
Well, he would identify himself as a whore. Yeah, he's definitely that. But I mean, no. What I'm saying is that I have seen the model of that. We both saw that in the late 90s. Janine Garofalo, is someone who could not buy a break and all of those people created the alt comedy scene. Sarah Silverman, there's Ben Stiller,
Yeah.
and then got co-opted,
Yes.
and Pac-Man gobbled up and made into the mainstream as they enter their 40s and 50s and 60s.
Yes.
And it's and so much like, and this is me just trying to comprehend it, because this is exactly what you said, is that much like all the left-wing tactics for racial justice and women's rights and all these things, the sit-ins, the marches, when the right wing co-opted all of that in the 80s, to take away the right to abortion and all these things, they did it as well as the left did. And so they have those results, the same results the left did in the 60s and 70s, the right had in the 80s, 90s, and today, like a radio station. And you're saying that that's what the right wing comics are doing now.
100%.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would tie those two things together exactly.
But that's the analogy of how I see
that'll work.
What they're doing is the fact that, because I do think that weirdo, like Weird Al Yankovic, Emo Phillips, like avant-garde comics had to create their own fan base. Even Sam Kinison, who was neither right wing nor left wing, but was just a guy who wanted to be.
Well, no, but I mean, he did Dangerfield special, and that
eventually,
made a huge difference.
Yes,
okay.
Eventually.
And Emo did the Tonight Show, and that was a huge thing. And
eventually,
Weird Al was on MTV, so those guys actually had access to mainstream stuff.
But well, the thing is they got co-opted by mainstream once they had a fan base. The fan base is easier and bigger to get to now because of the internet.
Right.
But the, sort of the piecemeal one at a time making a fan base was much harder when you're Emo Phillips in 1987.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this guy, he's going to get a ton of publicity for this.
So now he's in the New York Post, and it might turn into something.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you can go, I don't know him. You could say he's funny or not funny, but it won't matter, because what people who are fans of this kind of like devil's advocate way of living is, he's fighting against, women and gay people and people of color. He's fighting that, and so that's all you need to get people to sign up for your Patreon at the $10 level, and then a house in 2 years.
Well, some people are horrible, and you can play to that. Yeah, like I said, there's 8 billion people. What you have to do is you have to find people who want to believe that Pegasuses were real. That's going to be your need.
Sure. Oh yeah, I understand. I'm just saying this was a really interesting thing to read this morning, and it's like, yeah, this makes sense. This is like the next step, I guess, for this kind of comic.
What I'm saying is it's the same. It can be the next step if that's your next step in how to make money, and you happen to be a douche. But there's always, but every comic has to find that next step unless the mainstream has embraced them.
Right.
If you're John Mulaney, you were born with 1,000 silver spoons sticking out of every orifice and a beautiful haircut. And so
he was also very good very quickly. Very good very quickly. Like,
I don't think that quickly. I thought he was great. He's a great comic. I really do think that. And I don't think it was any quicker than several other people, but he is a really good comic. And I don't think that he got by, because he's also kind of a little guy. Like he's not, it's not like he's not Gary Gulman, right? Or he's not
sure. I mean, he's got a look, he's got a very distinct voice, he's very, very funny.
He's not super handsome. He's really good. He's good looking because of $1 billion. He's been put through a rock tumbler. Right? The guy has been rock tumbled into a very shiny dude. And I want a rock tumbler. I would like to be put into a rock tumbler and made into somebody with who's much thinner than I am, who's much better looking than I am, and possibly with the haircut's good. No, not a better
your hair
haircut.
looks great.
No, my hair's, it's a lot right now. Let's take a break before I bore myself with my personal appearance.
Okay.
And we're back. What do you? So
Let's do comedy of the week quick, and then go back to yelling at each other. People, I'm sure on their heads right now.
Okay, there we go. I picked this person from the upper left comedy festival because she made me laugh so hard. Her name is Cheri Hardman, Hardman. And what is her? Wait, it's in the chat. You put it in the chat, and it is
Gary
at Cheri CheriMMHMM, and it's at Cheri on both Twitter and Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So she is, first of all, she is said it herself. She's in her, like, she's 60, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's 60. She goes on stage on a scooter.
What? Oh, that's great.
She is.
Does she need it, or is she just?
Yeah. Oh, she needs it, and she's filthy.
Ah!
Yeah.
She is outstanding, and one of her kids is autistic, and she was like, I think he might be facing it. He's in his 20s or something, but she's like, I think he might be facing it. And then she tells a story about how he gets her, like the zingers that he sells.
Yeah.
And I have just decided that I am going to, I'm going to type it. It's because I don't want to ruin her joke, but he will occasionally, when she says something dumb, he'll just yell that at her. Like, she'll say something that he doesn't agree with, and he'll just yell that. And
that's funny.
She's like, that is ridiculous, and it's hilarious because the timing, he doesn't get mad that often. So it's not every day.
Well, that's cool.
Anyway, so Cheri Hardman, you guys, Seattle comic, Hardman, but it's Cheri, Cheri, MMHMM. Is that right? It'll be in the notes in any case. So find her, book her.
You'll find. We'll link to her Twitter and.
Oh, it's in there. Yeah.
Oh,
I can't imagine people are driving and they're listening and they're trying to remember usernames and then logging on later. They probably check our Twitter.
The notes.
I would.
Yeah, they probably check the notes. Hopefully. So.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so this comic, right? The white guy. So what I can see happening is the management company doesn't want to assign him. Maybe he's just not their style. But you don't want to tell somebody that, or you don't want to say, you also never want to say in show business to someone, you're not funny, because that person is guaranteed to become incredibly famous and then tell that story on a panel show and use your real name, right? So I can definitely see someone going, oh, we can't have any more white men because now no one's to blame but the world, right? You, the manager, are not to blame. Like, you want to, but I've got too many white guys. The comic can't complain because they can't stop being a white guy in a way. So you own up to your opinions about whether you can work with this person or not. You just blame this one thing. But then you create a white guy who actually thinks they're not getting a job because they're a white guy, which I don't know if that's ever happened. I mean, even Rachel Dolezal, she's a white lady, and she got a job that was supposed to go to a black person. So, I mean, I don't think white people are not getting jobs because they're white. It seems almost impossible.
Right. And it's not housing. It has to be, yeah, it's it's a frivolous lawsuit is what it is. And hopefully it gets thrown out. And
yeah, for sure.
It may or may not. And if it blows up enough that he does get work from it, then he has used this tool correctly.
Exactly. And it could blow up where he just can book a theater someplace. He doesn't have to hope
it could also not work.
His lawsuit,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting to watch. It just kind of broke across comedy on Twitter this morning.
Who else was talking about it?
Everybody. Anyone who sees the link is quote tweeting it and giving their opinion, Jackie. What did you do? Sleep this morning? I mean, you missed out. I don't know what you were doing.
What was I played some Marvel Puzzle Quest. I walked the dog. I've been cleaning this house.
My son and I took a CPR class this morning.
Okay. Did you, that is That's
just
good
like,
to learn. You're swimming people. You're people who swim. So
well,
yeah,
anyone can have have a cardiac event. I'm just like, you know what, I'm getting up there. And oh, the other thing, like, I want him to.
I'm getting up there. You want him to be able to save you.
Yes. I
Okay.
mean, wouldn't you hate it if your parent died and all you had to have done was taken this stupid class and you could have saved them? You know, I mean,
I took the class
I don't
like
want
30,
him to have
40
the
years
guilt.
ago. I took a CPR class in high school.
Yeah, me too.
And but that was the last time. So
Well, I'm qualified to save you, so don't worry about that.
and I
But
saw
are you
you in real
qualified to
life.
save me?
No longer, but it's probably expired. But I saw you in real life. I saw you and your son at Carmen Morales's awesome
At Rouse, we met you guys at Rouse.
at Italian restaurant where she
Yes.
had a bunch of people to celebrate her HBO special.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah.
cool.
I think it's just a 15-20 minute special, right? That she did. I watched it. I can't remember if it was marketed as a 15-minute because I feel like it was 20 minutes. And I know that she's working on a half hour for them now too. And
You know what? All you need is 20. Just get 20 minutes on there. No one wants to watch an hour of anyone's stand up. Just a little taste so you come out and see me live.
yep.
Yeah, that was cool. There's a lot of comics there, and so I brought my kid over, and we're talking to Ron Funches, and someone, was it you that said Ron Funches does the voice? Someone said he does the voice on King Shark on
the Harley animated series for DC.
And then my son, who's very laid back and has almost zero expressions, his eyes almost flew out of his head, and he's like, ah! And he's like, "You're great! Oh my God, you're perfect!"
I knew he would care. I knew he would
starstruck.
care.
Starstruck. That was kind of fun.
That's great. And he liked my. I asked him if he had looked at those manga that I gave him and the Shakespeare manga, and he was like, "No, but they're going to be great when I have to read because it's almost impossible for me to read Shakespeare. I can watch Shakespeare. I can read a comic book version of Shakespeare, but to read Shakespeare, I might as well cut myself to death.
It's not
because
easy.
it's the language is difficult and it's hard to envision. It's not like regular prose. It's reading plays is not one of my skills. I bet you it's a learned skill, and I could learn it if I cared, but I don't. So I gave him a comic book of Much Ado About Nothing, so he will enjoy that.
I hope, probably more towards the summer. You know, it's the end of school year, and I think anything with Shakespeare on it gets pushed.
That can be. It can be pushed to next year. It can get pushed to his next English class where he has to take any sort of Shakespeare.
Well, I think they did already this year. They read Romeo and Juliet, and we went and saw improvised Shakespeare. They improvised Shakespeare.
Right.
And they're great. So I think they're coming back. I think they do a Largo thing once a month. I recommend them to any parent out there is trying to get their kid into Shakespeare.
I forgot to tell you. Did you know Ophira Eisenberg is doing the James Corden show on Tuesday night?
That's great.
She's going to do a set. Ophira
Awesome.
Eisenberg on the Late Late Show on James Corden.
Yeah, he's putting a ton of women on. I fucking love it.
I know. And then he's retiring. He's got one more year.
I know, of course. This
or
always
he's checking
happens.
out. Yeah. But at least he's using his powers for good while he's still around. So
Yes.
I like that about him.
I did read CBS was saying they weren't necessarily committing to a new Late Show.
Oh, they might just bail on it.
I mean, it's weird because Corden is actually super successful. Carpool Karaoke gets a massive amount of views online and stuff. I mean, most late night shows are watched the next day or they're watched in clips, right?
Right.
Hardly anyone's watching them when they air. So I can understand where a network would go, well, if no one's no one's watching it at 12:30, they're all watching it at 10:30 the next morning at work. You know, what are we doing? Why does it have to be done this way then? And I mean, that's kind of what Conan was doing for a while, where he took it back to half hour. And then, I think kind of maybe part of why it just became less appealing was like, it wasn't doing a late night show now isn't what it was when a lot of us started doing comedy and Carson was the only host of a late night show.
Yeah, there were 4 channels. So
I don't know, but also like Vulture had a great article about, here's some great potential hosts, including Funches, Roy Wood Jr., Christella, and some others where it's not a white guy, and like the whole list, it's like anyone would kill this show, right? The list that they came up with, they're all great. They would all bring something different to it, and
Yep.
it's like now that the momentum is behind, hey, maybe not, another white guy. Now CBS is like, we're gonna look at the format and see if we realize, like, oh, come on, man.
yeah. Well, it's
But definitely sue your management company.
right.
The other thing in the
Or-
article was like, he goes, we were all there ready to sign the papers, and then this thing happened. It's like, I don't think they brought you in to sign papers and then tell you, oh wait, we just realized you're white. Like, that's also not how it goes. I don't know. It's just
Yeah, there were no
that's
papers.
horseshit, but it'll get
if
him.
there were papers, they sent you an email for DocuSign. It's so not
Yes,
happening.
exactly. And if they did that, it's because they wanted to sign you. It's not because they were still testing the waters.
Yeah.
So, it all seems kind of, it can be, I doubt it'll go much further, but the amount of publicity he's going to get amongst the people that he wants, for him, I guess it's a good idea.
Hey, let's take another break. All right. Well, yeah, I just so I'm home for like 2 weeks, and I just need to find. I would like to do all of the sets
Yes.
in a row,
Yes.
and I would like them, but we will see what is possible, and I don't know that it is. I don't know. I don't
Jackie,
know if
you
it
put
is.
out the call. You'll probably get a few.
I'll get a call, maybe someone. Yeah, and I might text and try to get a hot tub. Hot tub's still asking for proof of booster even.
Oh, I did hot tub a couple weeks ago. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into their roster yet, but it's hard to get last minute sort of work-ins into like West Side Comedy because he books a month in advance. And
people drop out more easily because then something comes up, right?
you would think that there'd be fill-ins, and then I wonder about maybe I should ping. Is it still Richard over at Comedy and Magic?
Yeah.
And Ice House is coming back. Do you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess Fraser Smith's one of the Bus brothers owns it, and apparently super nice and loves comedy, which that's. It's always good when a rich guy loves comedy. That's
right.
never bad.
Is Fraser Smith going to open that one as well?
He should. He should open. He should christen every comedy club.
Right.
So I'm going to Montreal this summer, right? Yes, I'm doing a couple shows and
For JFL or?
Yeah, for JFL, and I'm
Nice.
writing on one of the galas.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so that's cool. And then Bruce has me all hooked into JFL this year because I just did the Toronto JFL thing. I'm also doing shows at a theater in Toronto for JFL.
What?
In September.
That's amazing.
So Rich was like, Bruce was like, well, they actually want a name for your show so they can promote it. I'm like, oh my God, it's like I'm a European comic now. Right?
Right.
I got it. My show has a theme.
Yep.
And so I came up with I think
What is it?
I think I want to call it either cis woke grief slut or woke
What was the second one?
cis woke grief slut.
And the other one?
That just flipping the words around. Woke cis
okay.
grief slut.
Wow. All right. Then it will no one will cannot say that they would not been warned.
Yeah.
I'm going to Toronto in early December.
Yeah.
I wanna but I want to do Montreal. I want to do JFL. We'll see. Anyway.
Yeah, so that was sort of kind of like maybe I'll start to think about instead of just like going joke by joke as we American comics do, maybe I'll start thinking about this show in September as an hour that I'll just be working on this summer, and see if I can actually thematically hit all these beats that are in the title.
Right.
I think I can. The only reason why I added slut is that everyone writing to me, every evangelical Christian writing to me, call me a slut. So
Right.
I am working on a little bit about that. But I, as you know, Jackie, I lead the least slutty life possible, to my despair, by the way. I'm not proud.
You would think it would get you laid, but it would mostly be with some sort of evangelical Christian dude who usually wants to sleep with children.
Yes.
So that is unfortunate that they are not actual sexual beings. They're violent beings towards tiny people.
Mhm.
Anyway, I don't know. I would like, I mean, here's the thing. There's so much other things going on in my life that I really should be psyched to be home and doing sets around town, because I haven't had a chance to do a lot of sets around town. So I'm gonna, but and if I had a set tonight, I would be in a perfectly good mood.
Sure.
But as of right now, I do not have a set at night. So I'm about to take this. What are we at? 4 minutes? What do we got here?
We got a full 10 minutes left.
A full 10 minutes. So I'm going to take a minute of this and just text someone and ask them for a set tonight.
Wow. But
Talk amongst yourselves.
This is
Why
the
don't you just-
professional podcast we asked Max Funners to sign up for.
We
Yeah.
knew this was coming one day.
This should not be a surprise to anyone. You guys always send your avails on a Sunday.
During your podcast, which has 10 minutes left. Yeah, you can't wait. Jackie, you are being unsettled in your home situation, and it would be really good for you to get out of the house and do spots every single night.
Yes, I think so. And
from here on out as well, you should never be home. Trust me.
Can I get a set after 9 p.m. anywhere? I need sets so bad, and I love stand-up so much. There we go.
Yes.
It's been sent.
There you go.
So we will see. And because I tried a different club this morning and did not hear back. And so now I've gone with 2 other places that I've just tried to set. And
Okay.
and Ophira's coming into town tomorrow, Sunday. But I mean, this will be the day after, and she's gonna run her James Corden set at Flappers, starting at 5.
Amazing.
So I think I might
just do a whole bunch of shows there.
Yeah, so I think I might just go down to Flappers and hang out with her tomorrow,
Oh, neato.
and because that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And maybe I can get some work-ins there too.
Mhm.
So see what we can see.
I think, and Jackie Fabulous is doing the Tonight Show again.
Right. She's doing Fallon
Second
again.
time in a year. That's amazing.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's great.
I like when Jackie, she's very hooked into the Cellar, and so when SD loads her up, she just copies and pastes all of her sets into this massive graphic, and you realize, oh my God, that's just one weekend. And there's like 20 sets for a Friday and a Saturday listed there.
Wow. But and yeah, that's
I don't know, 150 a set. I don't know. It's good money to be passed at the Cellar if you're working all 4 clubs on a weekend. I'll tell you, because you don't have to spend any money on cab fare. You just
got 20 sets.
I'm just saying I think they have 4 rooms, and yeah. So like within a weekend, if you the shows start early and they go really late. Maybe there's 4 shows per room. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's possible to really
make a
clean
living.
up.
Yeah. And I have a set tonight, 9:30, main room at Flappers. So we will see if I can get maybe a later set over at the Improv or something else. The guy from the Chateau emailed me, and I was like, I don't know that I can do it, but it is in the Valley, which holds its own allure.
It I mean, I did when I just was like, I walked in there and I was like, no, when this was like a couple of months ago during the first Omicron, I think, right?
Okay.
again, we're in a highly contagious era, and no one was wearing masks, and no one seemed to care. And I guess I'm used to that now, having been in. So that's just the way it is now. But I guess that's the perception I have in my head of the chateau from January of like, wow, I'm just walking into sheets of COVID right now.
Right. And that's the good thing about Magnolia Grill is I've been meeting people for breakfast and lunch when I'm in town, but they have outdoor seating.
Yeah.
And so it's just nice to be able to sit out and have a salad or a nice, burrito. I don't know why I've decided to go through the menu of Magnolia Grill. Guys,
Jackie, you're out of control today. You're texting, you're booking shows, you're going over menus, you're fighting against an argument that you agree with. And I'm telling you, it's because
I'm just trying to define it correctly in my mind, where it's not like I'm not encouraging anyone who is a shitbag. And granted, no one who listens to the show is that person, right? I mean, if they want to take, let's say, their Pegasus, the people who love their centaurs, and turn that into something, find their niche.
What I would like is for some sort of inspiration from what this wing is doing and paying their own bills and all that kind of stuff. I would love it for myself, but in a very different way. So I don't even know how to replicate it, because that kind of fan base is attracted to that kind of fighting feistiness, I guess,
right?
Or that fuck you energy. And my fuck you energy is different. It's not fuck you to.
Right, you need a different 4,000 people or 4 million people, right? Like I have the Dork Forest. I pitched this thing to a toy company, and to do a Dork Forest panel, and they were into it, and then they were not into it. It was very porn like. Interested, not interested, which I believe is a Kevin Meaney joke. Is that who that? Not Kevin Meaney. Kevin Nealon. Kevin Nealon.
Yes. Oh
he's alive.
Yes,
but Kevin Meaney did pass. Yes,
good nap today. He's an older guy with the young kids, so yeah.
There's a glimpse into his personal life. Okay, nice.
I have some spots around town this week, and then Are
you in town?
Around for a little bit.
What's your next road gig?
I don't go on the road till July, and then I'm out a lot. Then I'm going to Cincinnati, Montreal, Denver, the Bay Area.
You're doing the works, right? You're doing the comedy works.
Yeah, I'm excited. Guys, if you are listening and you're going to come to my Denver shows, just buy tickets now. I would appreciate it. It would make me look like I'm at least friends of Jackie Cation, who's famous in Denver, and somebody that they want to book back. So please buy your tickets now. That would be awesome. I know somebody already said that they did. It's the date's not till the end of July, but
yeah,
be a hero.
Be a hero about the whole thing. And I love it. Did you look at your Sound Exchange to see if you're
yes,
to see if you had been played on Sirius at all?
I got some course of money, but it's not like I thought. It's not great at all.
No, but you did look it up to see where the money was coming from, and some of it was serious.
Yeah, they break it down by track.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, so even me expecting any kind of like giant windfall, like a buildup, it's not happening.
Right.
It's not happening. I don't know. When we get to record sales in September, is that going to be anything? I don't know.
But all I know is they took Horcrux off of Pandora for some reason. And
yeah.
But my Horcrux DVD and CD, both available in my garage. But the video is going to be on 800 Pound Gorilla's YouTube channel. They're going to do a public, because right now it's unlisted, because during lockdown I just uploaded it to YouTube just in case people needed something to watch for free. And some people sent me like $10. They'd watched it and they were like, yeah, thank you very much. And so that was good.
Well, during my last week of trials, traumas, etc., you posted my Venmo onto
Twitter. Right, people
send me money, and a couple of people sent me you said send her $1. And people did. That was very sweet. A couple of people sent me way more than $1, and said, use it to buy some security. So I did sign up for a program that was recommended by Jenny Yang, and then bought a home security system. And then the rest of the money I donated to Planned Parenthood. So I did spend some of your all's generous donations on security regarding this whole situation. And then the rest went to people that need abortions.
Yeah, there you go. Because it turns out it's healthcare. So I like it. Anyway,